Hi, this is Matt from tracymatt.co.uk and for unboxings.com. Here I have the new LG Chocolate BL40, which BL standing for Black Label Series, which I'm going to just unbox for you now. So first of all, we have the handset on top, and you'll notice it is a sort of a kind of wide and fairly unusual form factor for a handset. We'll look at that in a bit more detail in just a few moments. And also inside the box we have an adapter, obviously our charger, which is a micro USB style charger. We then have a USB sync charge cable for connecting up to your computer. We have a set of headphones, which is actually a wired headset, so I have a 4-pole 3.5mm jack on one end, connect the cable. Then we actually have an inline microphone, no push button, it's just a standard microphone, and some fairly decent looking headphones, has to be said, so we'll comment on those when it comes to the review, but they look actually quite decent. And underneath all that we have a notice talking about DivX. Then we have our manual and warranty information, and also a small CD-ROM there with software on, probably an electronic version of the manual also. So that's everything that we actually find in the box itself. So let's look at the handset. As I say, it's a fairly unusual form factor for a handset. It's very long and quite narrow, and as you can see, it is quite thin. So we just power up what I'm talking about, the rest of it. We do have a forward-facing VGA camera for video conferencing, and also a light sensor. The screen does take up the vast majority of the front of the handset though. It is a 4-inch diagonal display. It was actually 345 by 800 pixels, which is a rather unusual resolution, not one that we've come across before. I don't think any other handset has that same resolution, in fact. It has a capacitive touchscreen display and is a MOLED, and is extremely bright and clear. I don't know if you can really make out the difference on the video itself, but I can tell you that the display does look very bright and very clear. If we just have a quick look around the handset then, on the left hand side we have a cover over the micro USB sync charge cable, and the cover itself actually does hinge down. If you can really see that, it does actually hinge down out of the way and is captive, and then it pops back in. That's quite good. There's a button there that has a little icon underneath it, looks like the music button. On the bottom, nothing really to speak of. There is a little hole for the microphone. On the right hand side, we just peel off the text there and see a bit more closely. We have a dedicated camera button and an up and down volume control rocker. Then looking around the top of the handset, we have a power button and a lock button, and then the 3.5mm headphone socket, so we can plug in that headset or our own headphones. On the back, I'll just peel off the cover, we have a 5-megapixel autofocus camera, which is quite good. It also does have a little flash there, albeit fairly tiny. It does have a built-in flash, and the back is extremely shiny, so if you do want to take self-portraits you could do so. Removing the back cover simply slides down, the whole of the back pops off. Obviously our battery is already installed. A SIM card will go here, and a micro SD card, if we install one, goes under here. Do need to remove the back obviously, but we don't need to remove the battery to get to the micro SD card, which is quite cool. That pops back in like so, and the back cover just slides on. Very simple. And if we just slide to unlock. Now, as I've already mentioned, the screen is extremely wide, or tall in this case, and if we actually pop into the menu, you'll notice, if you've used the S-Class user interface before, this is all pretty standard for the S-Class user interface, as you'd find on a number of other LG handsets. But if I actually rotate the display now, there is a built-in G sensor that will switch around the display according to the orientation, and it does switch reasonably quickly. And if we're in this mode, we can actually just scroll across the items that we're looking for. If I just pop into the camera quickly, launch camera application, as you can see there. If I just put something in front of the camera, albeit tiny, and you can actually see that on display there. Just take a quick shot. And shot is taken very quickly, and you can see there is actually previewed there. I can skip that. Or I could use the button on top, which has a 2-stage press, so press it gently for autofocus and then press it again to take the picture, which is pretty cool. And not that you can really tell on the video here, but the actual photo isn't bad. It's pretty decent quality. Obviously we'll take better pictures than that, and we'll actually upload along with the review so you can see the quality of the camera. Widget wise, well, the widgets are fairly standard. They're the sort of thing that you would have seen before. If we look along the bottom, we have phone dialer, so we just tap the display. Extremely sensitive touchscreen, by the way. Then we have contacts. Obviously don't have anybody installed at the moment, and I have no SIM card, so it's not going to pick anybody up. Then we have messaging, and then finally the last icon we've already seen, which is actually the menu, and we can pop back into the menu and pop back home. Along the bottom also got the task manager. I don't want to actually stop that. And then we have the cube button, which launches a display cube, which we can rotate round, which is just another way of presenting information here. So we can actually have multiple screens with widgets. And then when we can obviously add widgets to this display if we wanted to, so obviously we've just got the calendar and the clock at the moment. And obviously we can add other widgets if we want to. We'll talk about that in a bit more detail when it comes to the full review, which will be online on tracyback.co.uk over the next couple of weeks. And if you are a fan of our unboxing videos, check out the others that we have on unboxings.com.